Hey moms, welcome back to Mom Madness Game 2. The March Madness show where we talk about some of the things maddening about motherhood besides all of the things. And today's topics are the time warp and mommy brain.
Just to recap, the rules for the game are we will each get 4 minutes to talk about our topic. Melinda is pink, Angel is teal. So after we each give our points and the 4 minute time frames are up for both of us, we'll come back together to talk about both subjects together and go from there. So we're going to go to Mike for our coin toss, and Melinda's going to call this time.
All right, are we ready?
Call in the air.
Heads.
It is heads.
Awesome.
Favoritism. Okay. All right, Melinda.
All right. Time warp. Time warp. And not from the movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. So the time warp is where you think you have time to do things in the day and then all of a sudden it's tomorrow, basically. So in my experience, this comes when I have a day of things I have got to do that day. Like, we need to run errands, we need to go to the post office, go to the grocery store, go to an appointment, whatever it is. There are days where we have a full agenda of things to do, and I don't know what happens. Like, we run out of time, it's getting dark, it's the post office is already closed. It's so maddening, because I've even tried to do the block schedule in my agenda, where my agenda literally, it starts at 8 a.m. and it ends at 8 p.m. And I have written it out of like, we need to be here at this time and this time, and then there's a car accident, and then the red light took too long, or I hit every single red light on the way to whatever we're trying to do, or it rains, and why can't anybody drive in the rain? That's another topic. But things happen, and then there are days where we have nothing to do but hang out and play, and it is like the longest day on earth. And I'm not complaining, because that's just more time that I get to play with my girl, and we get to do fun things, and but oh my gosh, sometimes you were ready for a nap. Them to take a nap too, but sometimes you're ready for a nap, okay? And it's like I don't know what happens to the time. Like, I also don't know what to do to try to fix that problem. And it happens to us on the weekends too. It's not just me when I'm at home. I'm sure it's not just moms when they're at work, because I do remember when I had a full-time job, like when I was pregnant. I don't know why time started to change when I was pregnant, because it was fine before I got pregnant, but like probably in the third trimester, like days were either too short or I was ready to get home. There was never just the perfect day of getting everything done while I was at work. I was either just like ready to go and the day was dragging, or I had to get extra people to do extra things. And then when you're at home, and especially when you're breastfeeding, if you are breastfeeding, it's like the time really goes away, like in the beginning, because they eat every 2 hours, right? Except for it's really more like every hour and a half or less, because you start breastfeeding at 1 o'clock and then all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock but you didn't really finish breastfeeding them and putting them down until like 1:30. So there's no time, and it's so frustrating. And I'm hoping one day it'll get better, but who knows? It may not. It may just continue to tick away, and really we're all mad here, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I just need a hat and a teapot, and
I feel like you have both of those things.
I do have both of those things. Oh, we're all mad here. Which brings us to Mommy Brain. It's a fantastic transition. Are you ready?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh.
So, Mommy Brain actually starts as pregnancy brain, which is bananas insulting when other people say it. Because I definitely yelled at somebody at work when they accused me of not being good at my job for a little bit because I was pregnant. And really it wasn't because I wasn't doing anything, or I wasn't doing anything wrong per se, but it's just things didn't work out the way they thought. So they said, well, it's okay if you forgot because you have pregnancy brain. It happens. Don't say that to people.
Mm-mm.
We got a lot going on, and it's a dangerous place to be. So I actually had a couple people that warned me that pregnancy brain turns into mommy brain, and I thought, oh God, because I am like super on top of things normally, like in terms of, before I got pregnant, before I had Ollie, birthday presents were bought 2 months in advance. Christmas was done early. Like I knew when everything was going on and everything was prepared ahead of time, and I was really great at like making sure everything in my life and in my husband's life was like, it was good. I never had any issues. And now that is not the case. So after we got home from the hospital, obviously I was still healing and stuff. So the housework stuff I didn't care about. But then here we are, almost 2 years later, and I really still don't care about the housework. So it's like, because the reasoning is because I don't have the bandwidth to go to work every day, to come home and be a mom, to come home and be a wife, to clean, to cook, to, do all of these other things that I do outside of those components in my life. And my brain is full because the only thing that I think about 24/7 is my son. And making sure, like thinking ahead of like, whether it's fun stuff, like, Melinda picked up a water table for them to play with in the summer, and I'm thinking about, the fun things we get to do with him this summer because he's bigger and he's, really into being mobile now and walking and doing all these things, and he's starting to get used to park equipment. We're working on it. But he also, we're going to get to reintroduce swimming and try to get him used to water. And so I think about the fun things like that, getting ready for his second birthday. And like, those sorts of like moments where it's like, these are the way that my mind works. And then you hear about horrible stories like what's happening to children in other places, and then I can't sleep at night because I'm terrified that something's going to happen to my son that I can't do anything about. So mommy brain comes in multiple tiers. There's so scattered because you have so much going on all the time that you can't remember shit. Then you have terrified of everything because you don't have any control over anything. And then there's like, oh, there's so much fun stuff going on and I'm overwhelmed even though these are positive things. And it's this trigger of things that's just always, our minds just don't stop. I have never in my life, even as a newborn apparently, I have never had an issue going to sleep, no matter how mad or upset or stressed out I was. I don't sleep worth a damn now. And it's because when I lay down at the end of the night, I cannot cut it off. I can't cut off, well, I got to make sure I have everything ready to take him to Melinda's tomorrow. And, oh, I've got to make sure I have everything ready for this or that, or make sure, oh, he needs this from the grocery store. He's out of chickies. He needs juice. He needs diapers. He needs, and it's always something because he is my priority. He is my number one priority. So because of that, there's the forgetfulness, the short attention span, the just the overwhelming everything that comes from pregnancy brain turning into mommy brain. And I'm fairly confident that never goes away. So in the meantime, I'm just going to pretend like I have my shit together, even though we don't.
Oh, I definitely feel the mommy brain in the scattered.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't squirrel before, But these some big ass squirrels now. Like I don't know what to do some days. Like I forget, or I start to do something and then I don't. Or what's really
Sidetracked.
Oh gosh, and what's really bad is one day I opened my phone up, okay, because I'd gotten people to text me that day, and I opened my phone up to see the messages that I had responded to, except for there were like 3 people.
I was probably one of them.
No, these were just text messages, not Telegram, but maybe. And
I feel like you've said these things to me before.
I saw the messages and I'm like, because you see on the iPhone, you see the previews of all the messages, right? I think it's like that on all the phones now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why aren't their messages showing up? I already responded and I clicked on one. Are you kidding me? The message I typed back to respond with was still sitting in the message box. And I hadn't hit send. 3 of them, I typed my response out and never hit send. It happens to me all the time.
That happened on a couple
all
of
the time.
Like, thinking Momestly's too. You said that you
oh my gosh,
you went to post things and then you it didn't post.
It didn't post. Like she's messaged me because I usually do the Instagram stuff, and she's messaged me a few times and be like, did you post a Thinking Momestly today? And I'm like, yeah, I did. Let me check. And it was not there. Or there have been some times where it has not timed out on me yet, and I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I can hit send on it. But that's happened to me several times. I start to do it, and it's because I try to do it when Aria's not right there doing something. I try to do it while she's napping, or when she's eating lunch, or some other time that I'm sitting still and not doing something else, and that's not very often. But just squirrel. And
mine happens more in like a lot. I mean, it happens in all kinds of things for me. But what I've noticed is my focus cannot be broken. If it is, I got nothing. I will literally say, we'll be having a conversation and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to look something up. And I'll open my phone. I'll see that I have a message and I'll respond to it. And I have no idea why I opened my phone to begin with. Or like, I'll be like, we'll literally have a conversation and like, she'll say something or Mike will say something or somebody will say something. And then like 2 seconds later, I'm like, what? I don't remember what you just said. Like, I don't, and I was never like that before. That never happened to me. And it literally wasn't until I had Oliver that my mind just was like, it's like we just can't juggle it all. Like there's so much going on.
I mean, like we've always been a little squirrel in our conversations anyways.
We always circle back.
We're usually able to completely circle back. That doesn't always happen.
Yeah, we have to take a lot of notes now.
We probably should actually take notes.
Well, I know we do when we're working on stuff. Because we know that if we don't write it down, we're not going to remember.
We're not going to get back to it.
Yeah.
And that is part that, you know what, that's also like, that's part of the time warp too, of like, when you're talking about these things and you're trying to, like, that happens to us when we're planning. Yeah. We sit down and we're like, this will take 10 minutes 3 hours later.
And we're talking about something that has nothing to do with Momestly.
Because of mommy brain. And the time warp has stolen our time away. And Mike's messaging me, hey, are you coming home tonight? It's 2 a.m. Oh, Angel, you need to go to work in a couple of hours. Like, it is crazy. And
to your point, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's either too fast or not fast enough.
Yeah.
Like when they're screaming and they're having, like, they're exhausted and it's not quite time for bed and you have to listen to it for an hour. It's really 6 hours.
Yeah, that's also true.
And then it's like, you know, the time thing is bizarre because it really does eat away really quickly. Like, there are moments where, like, it's all of a sudden, like, Oliver should have already had dinner. And, oh my God, we need to do that. Because we have like a very, very set routine. Right. And it's like when I have no idea what happens. It's the same, like what you said. Like, I have no idea how to fix any of that. Because it doesn't matter if you plan around it or if you try to be, like, I had, the other night I had a cricket project or job or whatever that I was working on. And I was like, okay, so if I take a nap, because I need this for my mommy brain. So like if I take a nap, you know, from 7 to 8:30 and I get up at 8:30, if I go into the room and I start cutting the vinyl at 8:30, I should be done with the project by 9 o'clock. It shouldn't take me more than 30 minutes. I already have everything ready. And it's because I don't have anything else to drink. And so then I thought, okay, and then at 9 o'clock, I can go do my yoga, and by 9:30 I can make dinner. I'll have eaten, yeah, we eat late. I can do dinner, and then I'll be ready to go lay down at 10 o'clock. It was, that's not, the short version is, that's not what happened. Instead, I was up very late that night, and I didn't finish the Cricut project until almost 1 o'clock. And yoga didn't happen at all, and it's just because something happened. Well, I think I also was having Cricut issues, but it's things you can't predict, things you can't control, and then you're just like, I don't even know why I try.
The things that you can't control are like, why?
That's probably the most maddening part about it.
It is, and
For every topic.
Look,
the
all
lack
right,
of control.
March Madness is done. Mommy Madness is done. Why? That's what it is. That's why. That's the answer. There's your crown, trophy, whatever you get. Why? So stuff you can't control, but that's
just
not
try
our
to.
topic. You try.
But it almost makes it worse. It's almost better to just accept that you're going to fail at managing it, and then it's like, okay. Like, I don't even get upset when I first started having the, like, issues with remembering stuff. I'm never in my life have I just outright forgot to pay a bill. That has never happened to me until after I had my son. And Rick, you know, he'll message me and he'll be like, did you pay Comcast? And I'm like, of course. The answer's no. Because it's just for some reason, like these things, I go through and I pay
forget
things.
that bills exist sometimes.
I'm telling you, it's just like this crazy thing where it's like, even the littlest thing. So I was really frustrated with myself, and it was really maddening because it's like I couldn't get it together. No matter what I did or how hard I tried, I couldn't. And then added to all the other things that we deal with and the things I've been dealing with health-wise, like I couldn't get it together. So I finally reached a place where I'm like, okay, this is just what it's fucking like now. So, you know what? I don't care. It's 8 o'clock and Oliver isn't in bed. We gonna figure it out. Like, it is what it is.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know? We have no time and we forget everything. It's welcome to motherhood.
The
Hashtag,
joys.
this is motherhood. Yes, the joys of.
If I did that.
Hashtag.
Gang sounds good.
Speaking of which, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can get more of this content. Hit the bell so that you get notified for Game 3 as soon as it releases.
For sure.
And weigh in down below. What is more maddening? The time warp or mommy brain? Or is it all the same? I don't know.
Those
we need to
both
know.
suck.
We need to know because, you know, we got to fill out our semis here. But let us know down below. Also, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Momestly. You can send us a private message if you don't want to comment. And let us know what's more maddening. And stay tuned for Game 3 coming soon. I think that's it. Bye.